I'm Ranger Jessie, and I work at Great Smoky Mountains National Park. As you can see, like many of you, today I'm working from home. I hope you enjoy our virtual Smokies Campout, where park staff will share with you some tips on how to enjoy the great outdoors from your very own homes or neighborhoods. For those of you outside, in your homes, or elsewhere, I challenge you to find creative ways to join us. Now, let's check in with Hannah, who's going to show us how to set up camp and some fun evening activities.
Hi everybody, my name is Hannah and I am a volunteer at the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And just like all of you, I cannot be in the park right now, which is very sad, but I do have my own backyard and I would like to welcome you to our virtual campout. Before we get started by pitching our tent, I want to make sure that I'm protecting the wildlife around me, which means that all the trash and all the food that I accumulate throughout my time here, I'm going to be packing away in my vehicle or proper bear-safe dumpsters. Alright, make sure you do the same, and if you guys have your own tent and your own place in your own backyard, follow along with me. So now that we have our tent set up, it is perfect. We're going to get into some fun nighttime activities. Now what I want to teach you guys about tonight is our senses. Now we use our senses every single day, but we don't really pay enough attention to them. But at night, we can walk in the shoes of a nocturnal animal and see how we can use our senses like they use their senses to hunt their prey. So let's do some fun activities, and we're going to start with smell. So what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes and I want you to take a big whiff of your environment and see what smells that you catch with your nose. For me, I smell honeysuckle because there's a honeysuckle bush right behind me. For animals like raccoons and owls, they rely on their senses to navigate them through the night so that they can catch creatures to eat. And some animals are even completely blind, so they rely absolutely on their senses to catch their prey. Alright guys, so we're going to move on to touch. Now, animals at night rely on a heightened sense of touch to navigate through the night and find their prey. So I have a fun activity that I came up with for you guys, and it requires a partner. My mom's going to help me out for this one. And I want you to go throughout your house or your backyard, find 3 items, and close your eyes, place it in your partner's hands, and I want them to try to figure out what it is. Alright, my mom's going to do it to me. Okay, this is what it is, and I think I pretty much know right off the bat that it's a pine cone. Alright, so it's getting pretty late and it's almost my bedtime, but I want to do one last activity with y'all. So I'm going to play some sounds from some animals that you may have heard in the Smoky Mountains, and I want you to pause the video after you've heard them and try to guess what those sounds are. Alright, so here's the first one. Any guesses? Well, if you guessed the pileated woodpecker, you would be correct. Let me play the second sound. Now at first you might think that's some kind of a bird, but it's actually a creature that you would find digging around in your trash cans. It's a raccoon. How cool is that? And the last sound is... pretty noisy, huh? It's an elk. Thank you guys so much for joining me on my part of the virtual campout. I hope that you realize that senses are just as important to nocturnal animals as they are to us as well. Let's catch up with Ranger Jessie in the morning because I am off to bed.
Hey, it's Ranger Jessie again. Good morning. I hope you slept well. For me, there's nothing like waking up in the morning and listening to the sounds of the world waking up around you. And now that we're awake, we can enjoy one of my favorite parts of the camping trip, the camp breakfast. I'm going to share a video with you of one of my favorite simple camp breakfasts. For this recipe, you will need 2 slices of bread, a spreading knife, a banana, butter or margarine, peanut butter, almond butter, or a different spread you use. I also am going to be using a camp cooker and an outside source of heat, but you can do this right in your microwave if you prefer. So the first thing we're going to do is peel our banana and cut it into slices. The next step will be to spread the inside of each slice of bread with butter. You can skip the butter step if you're going to be putting this into the microwave, because the butter is going to go onto the pie iron side so that it doesn't stick when we cook it. Then the next step is going to be to spread peanut butter or almond butter or whatever spread you pick onto both slices of the bread on the other side. Don't worry if that last step was a little messy. You can always clean it up. The next step will be to take the peanut butter side on the inside so you have the butter out and put the butter towards the pie iron. And then take your banana slices and place them right onto your peanut butter bread. You can use as many as you want. And for me, that's going to be 5 slices. Then take your other piece of bread, butter side to the top, and place it down. Then to finalize it off, you take the top pie iron and you close it down on top. And this squeezes the entire sandwich into your pie iron. Now that we have all our ingredients in our breakfast pie, we're going to head outside to cook it up. Remember, if you're making this in your microwave, you can skip the butter, put it on a plate instead of a pie iron, and put it in the microwave for 15 to 30 seconds to warm it up. Alright, so we have all of our ingredients together in our pie iron, and I'm going to cook mine in the community fire pit here where I live. Wherever you choose to cook yours, make sure that it's safe, and if you're making a fire, do so with the supervision of adults. I'm also going to be using a can of cooking fuel to make mine a little easier on this campout. Alright, I've been cooking my pie for about 5 or so minutes. It's starting to smell really good. Let's check to see if it's done. Alright, let's check out our pie. And to me, that looks perfectly done. Just make sure you cook both sides, and when removing your pie, be careful, the iron will still be hot. Thanks for joining me while I cooked one of my favorite campout breakfasts. Now let's check in with Camille for some fun afternoon activities.
That looks delicious, Jessie. One of my favorite parts about camping is definitely the food. Hi, I'm Camille, and I work as an AmeriCorps member in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. For work, I educate the public about the park, I help post on the park's social media, and I am continuously learning all that I can about the Smokies. Now that we're energized for our day, let's think about ways that we can enjoy our backyard campout. Do you want to get active? Exercising outdoors is a great way to stay healthy. Want to relax? One of my favorite parts about camping is hanging out in my hammock and looking at the surrounding trees. Want to do some exploring? Try your own backyard. You never know what you might discover. To explore my backyard, I'm going on a scavenger hunt for different leaf arrangements. The differences I share may help you identify the trees where you live. This maple tree and several other species always have opposite leaves and branches. This means that the leaves, branches, and twigs grow directly opposite each other. Our alternate leaf arrangement can be seen in this beech tree. This means that the leaves grow offset from one another on the branch. Rhododendron are a great example of a whorled leaf arrangement. This means that all the leaves grow from one central point on the branch. I now challenge you all to look for examples of opposite, alternate, and world leaf arrangements in your own backyards. In addition to using the leaves to identify a tree, we can use the color and the texture of the bark. This white pine, for example, has deep ridges running up and down the tree, and it's darker in color. In contrast, we have a white oak here, and it has much flakier bark, a much lighter color, and looks a little bit thinner than our white pine bark. We looked at examples of using leaf arrangement and bark to identify our trees. However, you can also use flowers, cones, site location, and much more to figure out what species you're looking at. While identifying trees can seem like a daunting task, practice makes perfect. I now encourage you all to go in your own backyards and create a scavenger hunt of your own. Center it around flowers, or insects, or colors. Get creative. After all, this is your backyard campout. All that scavenger hunting has me ready for a nap. Happy camping!
Thank you for joining us for a virtual Smokies campout. We hope you had fun.